Welcome to The Glitter Effect, a podcast dedicated to shining a light on the movers, shakers, change makers, and all-round living legends of our communities who are making a real difference. Today, I'm joined by the beautiful Tammy Robinson, who is the founder of Formerly Ever After. Tammy is a woman whose heart and generosity have helped thousands of young people experience one of those milestone moments many of us take for granted, their school formal. Tammy is a mum, an aged care worker, and someone who saw a need and simply decided to do something about it. Through Formerly Ever After, she's created far more than dresses and suits. She's created confidence, dignity, belonging, and joy for young people and families doing it tough. Tammy is a true glitter spreader in every sense of the word, so settle in and prepare to feel inspired by a woman who proves that compassion really can change lives. Tammy Robinson, welcome to The Glitter Effect.
Hi, super happy to be here.
I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled. We were just talking offline and I'm so excited. So Tammy's just showed me around her amazing store of glitter dresses and suits and everything for formals. So it's even more exciting now. I feel like I'm there. But let's jump in. So Tammy, Formerly Ever After, it was founded out of a desire to help young people give access to young people for their school formal. Talk me through, what was that moment that made you think I need to do this or I should do something? How did it all start?
Yeah, so originally when I started, I was just looking for somewhere to donate my formal wear, stuff that we had in the house, you know?
Yeah.
And so I didn't find anywhere to start with, so I just ended up giving it to a charity store. And then later on, I was just on Facebook, and because I'd been searching things, you know, then things popped up.
Yep.
And so 2 programs in 2 different cities popped up. And so I reached out to them and I said, you know what? I can just collect in Logan if you like. I can get you formal wear from Logan and give it to you. So just really wanted to help them. And the first lady came to me with 8 dresses. So we stood in my driveway, her, me, and my 17-year-old son, who was about to do his formal.
Yep.
We stood there with the 8 dresses. They were beautiful. She went away. I looked at my son and said, there's something wrong with this. We're going to give 8 dresses to other cities who have programs. Meanwhile, 8 kids in Logan aren't going to go to their formal. And he was like, well, do something about it, Mum. And I said, what will I do? I'm just a mum. And he kind of raised his eyebrows and was like, what? We can do anything we want, right? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I went down to the local PCYC with him and I said to the people down there, well, I think we need this in Logan, but I don't really know what to do. Like, I'm a mum. What do I do? I've never ran anything like that. It sort of scared me, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really know what to do. And they said, well, just start it. Just start asking your friends and your family and just see if it takes off. So I went home and I did a Facebook post just on my own personal Facebook. And I was like, hey guys, I'm thinking about doing this. Does anyone have any stuff? Well, then it started flooding in. And flooding in. And then I remember I was sitting in my kitchen and I was just surrounded by formal wear. And I thought, and because I'd gone back to the other 2 programs and said, hey guys, I think I'm going to start a program, you know, and they were like, yep, go for it. Like, we fully support that. So yeah, I'm sitting in my kitchen and I thought, okay, I've got clothes, but I don't have any students. How do I get students? And I'd heard a few little snippets of, oh, there's this strange lady offering free formal wear, you know. And so I thought, I'm not going to get students in. And then when I said to the universe, I'm like, okay, if this is what I'm supposed to do, you need to send me some students.
Yep.
And that night at 11 o'clock, I got an email from a local school teacher saying, we'd like to bring some students in. And I was like,
wow.
aha, that's it. That's
it.
That's the one. I just need one to start, you know. And so they came in. And then from there, within 2.5 months, I'd had 236 students come into my kitchen to get formal wear.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, it works. It works. So that's how yeah. Because I never thought I would run anything, let alone a formal program that's gotten as big as it has.
Yeah.
But I never really expected that. Like, I just was right at the beginning. Even my 17-year-old son, Caleb, said to me, Mum, even if you just help one student, that's one student that wasn't going that will be going. And so that was really important at the start of it too. Like, even like one student is one student, you know, that would miss out otherwise. So
wow.
yeah, then it just hurried on.
Snowballed. So just
Yeah.
one step back, Logan, can you explain the location of Logan for anyone listening who may not know where that is and what the demographic of Logan is?
Yep, yep. So I live in Beenleigh, which is a suburb of Logan, which is between the Gold Coast and Brisbane in Queensland. So we're pretty much, I think we're about halfway. Um, and so Logan, there's a lot of people that are struggling financially, as there is everywhere right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of families that's maybe a bit generational. So they've lived in these areas. I grew up in this area, so I'm exactly the same. So, you sort of grow up not really quite having enough and not really having those things that would be considered a luxury. So,
Mm,
like a formal dress for $1,000 is way out of reach. It's just
mm,
way out of reach. I remember growing up myself, and when I got to year 12, I remember with my own formal, I thought, I'm not even gonna ask my mum to go because I
mm.
know she's gonna make a dress and I'm gonna look different again. Like, she's gonna do her best,
Yep.
but I'm still gonna look different and I'm gonna look out of place, and I'd always been like that right through schooling. So
Yep.
I thought, I just don't wanna do it. I just wanna move and go get a job and just start my adult life. I just
Mhm,
felt different so many times. So I think I really understand the young people that come here.
mhm.
I understand that they don't want to feel different either. They just want to go to their formals feeling confident and empowered. So I guess that's because I grew up here, I get it a bit more, I suppose.
And I come from the UK, so for me, school formals
Yeah,
weren't a thing for me, so it's quite a
yeah,
foreign concept for me, and I'm understanding more and more. I've lived here now for over 20 years. But can you
yeah,
explain to listeners as well exactly what a school formal is and why do you think it's so important in a young person's life to be able to attend or at least
yeah,
have the
yeah,
choice to attend?
to attend. Yeah. Before I say that, I just want to say I sent a dress to a girl in the UK once.
Oh, really? Oh, so you don't just help in Logan. Gosh, that's a wow.
You
Okay.
know, prom. So a prom, it's called a prom
A
there,
prom.
right?
Yeah,
A
yeah,
prom
that's
for
right.
UK. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the young girl, her mum typed into Google, she was struggling, and her
Mhm.
daughter was size 22. So it's a lot harder to
Oh my
it's
gosh.
hard already to get a formal dress, but then when you go to size 22, that makes you have even more boundaries.
Yeah.
So she typed in Google where to get a cheap prom dress, and my name, formerly ever after, came up right at the top of the search bar. And so she presumed I was in the UK. So she reached out to me and
Oh.
she said, Tammy, she goes, I was just wondering, hi, could you help me? Blah, blah, blah. I'm searching for a dress for my daughter. We don't really have the money. She's about size 22. I was like, yeah, of course. Let me book you in. So I said, oh, is this date good? Yep, 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 yep. Sent her my address and she went, oh, there's a problem. I'm in the UK.
Oh.
Like, "Oh, I'm in Australia."
Oh, no.
So then I said, "Oh, look, I sent her this link for someone that did a similar program in the UK that I'd seen." So I sent her a link for them, but they told her she was too far away to help. And so she came
Oh,
back to me and she was upset and she said, "Oh, they said we're too far away." And I went, "I'm in Australia, you're in UK. I'll help you." And
oh,
so,
how beautiful.
and so said to her, just send me a picture of your daughter, just a general everyday picture so I could see the sort of style she had.
Yep.
Send me a picture, send me what you think her size is, and then I'll go from there. So I ended up sending her, she was a little bit goth, so I sent her a beautiful black gown with a bit of glitter in it. And then I sent her accessories that I saw sort of would go with her vibe.
Yep.
But I sent them over to her in the UK. Her grandma did a tiny little, just a small alteration on the dress, just pulled it in a little bit, and she went to a prom. So,
Magic.
like,
How magical.
we can help people anywhere.
You
So
are the
sorry, say the
fairy. No,
question
I
again.
know. You are the fairy godmother. I love this. I absolutely love this. So, yeah, I love all these stories. Keep telling them. But yeah, back to where we were. The school
Yeah.
formal. Why do you think it's so important for in a young person's life to be able to have that choice to go to a school formal? And what is it about it? Yeah.
Yeah. So school formals are when they finish year 12, they have a big celebration with their friends.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a rite of passage. It's the end milestone to year 12. You have your exams, you have your formal where you all get to go dressed up beautiful. And I guess it's sort of like your lead into adulthood because
Yeah.
this is the very final thing of your schooling years. So I feel like if you miss out on that, you miss out on something special. I feel like I do know that I missed out on it as well.
Yeah.
Um, my 3 of my older kids have all gone, and I would have bent over backwards to get those 3 kids to their formal because I just know it's important.
Mm.
For some parents that come here, the parents say, "This is the first child in our family that's ever graduated." So, I mean, imagine
Oh,
that. Imagine that this is the first child that's ever graduated and you can't afford a dress or a suit. I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
this isn't even this is a program for the students, but it's also a program for us parents. It's a
Mm.
program for us parents so that we don't feel like we're failing in that. We
Yep.
feel supported by a community that's providing for us. I think that for the students that can't go, I've heard different stories over the years, like there'll be a student sitting there, and when the teacher says, "Oh, are you going to formal?" They go, "Nah, I don't want to go." And then the teacher digs a little bit more. "Oh, how come you're not going to formal?" "Nah, don't like it." And the teacher
Mm.
will just dig a little more. "Well, how come?" Anyway, it ends up being a lot of the times it's money, it's financial. They don't
Yeah.
have they know their family doesn't have it. They don't wanna ask for it because
Yeah.
they know that the family's already struggling. So they're not gonna say, "Hey, mum, do you have this much money for me to do that?" So
Yeah.
these young people are putting their families ahead of what they would like to do. And I think that's really sad because I think they shouldn't have to miss out when what you saw in my garage is here. Like,
Mm.
that's all sitting in people's cupboards. Every single thing you saw has been donated.
Yep.
So I just feel like it would just be a shame for them to miss out. The other reasons I get young people here is anxiety, super crippling anxiety. So
Mm.
to go into a store itself is just for anything is just hard.
Mm.
So then to go into a store to find something as important as a formal dress or a suit,
Yeah.
much, much harder. To walk under someone's house into their garage, I think it just simplifies everything.
Yeah.
If a parent told me that their child had really bad anxiety, I would like when they come in, I would welcome them. I
Mm.
would just show them quickly the sizing. And then I would say something like, "I've just got to go upstairs to do some paperwork. Are you guys right down here?" And I would kind of leave that student just to get their bearing here with their support worker, their parent, whoever it
Yep.
was. I would just step out for a little bit. And by the time I walk back down, they've sort of relaxed into it and starting to search for stuff.
Mm.
I get a lot of people with different disabilities. So that again, I dress quite a few people from a few of the special schools around here. And I remember one parent once saying to me, "I don't think my child I think you should give the appointment to someone else because I don't think my child deserves that appointment as much." And it nearly broke my heart because I thought
Oh, wow.
every single child, and they didn't mean it badly. They were
Yeah.
just trying to say, like, "I think there's more deserving." I went, "No, there's no one more deserving than your
No.
child. Like, your
Mm.
child is equally as deserving as every other child." And I think that's really important that parents remember that. Like, it's not just me. Like, I know there's a program that's in Melbourne, and I know I helped the young lady start one in Western Australia, and there's one in Townsville I helped the lady start, and I've just been helping a lady in Ballin in New South Wales start one. So,
Mm.
there's programs around. Otherwise, I will post stuff to you. Like, if you're
Right.
desperate and you need help and you can't get it near you, I'll work with you to post stuff like I did for UK. Like,
Yeah.
I would rather work that little bit harder and get that student to their formal feeling incredible than
Mm.
that student missing out,
Missing
you
out.
know?
Yep.
So
100%.
whatever we can do to help, like we're gonna help. We're gonna help.
And is it just you that runs it, Tammy, or do you have a team of helpers? I think I might know the answer to this.
Always ask me this. So I do all of the appointments and all of the social media and well, a lot of the stuff. But my
Yeah.
husband, my beautiful husband, I just married him 2 years ago, nearly 2 years
Oh,
ago. He does a
congratulations.
lot. He straightens the racks after appointments. He says that's his job, so he straightens the racks. He will sort donations with me, and he'll do washing. And then my 15-year-old Jaylee, she did the back door of the ties there. She'll sort donations, do displays. She'll model stuff for photos here for me. She's very good at opening the mail. I can just like go to the storage unit, pick up like a carload of mail, bring it home, leave it for her, go off to work, and when I come home, she's not only sorted it, but she's written notes about it. And she's
Yeah.
kept all the little notes for me and written on it what came with it.
Oh,
So all of that helps me so much. And then we have approximately 64 drop-off locations from the Gold Coast up to the Sunshine Coast.
no,
And we
okay.
even have one in Ballarat. We have one in Ballarat and Victoria.
Yeah.
And so all of those people and businesses, they let people bring their formal items to them directly. And then those people will bring it to me when they've got a carload. So they'll collect
Ah,
it there. and then bring it to me. So it saves people petrol and it
Yeah.
saves people time. So
Yeah.
you're already doing a great thing donating. So if we can make it easier for you, we will. And then they'll use their petrol. So they volunteer an area in their house, their time. Some of the volunteer drop off places wash everything for me. Some of
Wow.
them, one lady in particular, Patrice, she's from a towing company here. She actually color codes it into bags for me, which is I just get the bags and it hangs straight up, tag, hang up, you know?
Wow.
She
That's
washes
so
it
good.
and then puts it in the bag. It's so good. So we're always really grateful for that too. And then we have volunteers who just say I put a post up and I go, "Oh, guys, it's raining so much. I can't possibly get all this washing done. I don't have anywhere to dry it. Can
Yeah.
someone help?" I'll have a little army of people that put up their hand and send me a message and say, "Tammy, we'll be right over." And they'll just come over. They'll take that washing home. They'll hang it in their pergolas until it's dry, you know. So we have that like extra team of volunteers.
Yeah.
And then we also have a team of people who will volunteer to do fashion shows with me. So if I say,
Oh,
"Hey guys, I put my hand up to do a fashion show. Who wants to help me?" I have a great little group of young ladies and men who will be like, "We want to help." We have people of all ages, all sizes, different nationalities that come in and help us, just so
yeah.
that we don't want to do a fashion show and just have one type of person.
One
We
type.
wanna
Yep.
show that
Yep.
we're all different.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So we do fashion shows at things like Loud and Proud Logan. We
Yep.
do fashion shows. We just did one on Saturday at a nursing home just
Oh,
to bring
fun.
happiness to older people.
Yeah.
Um, they love my 24-year-old son. They thought he was just the best thing in the world.
Fantastic. Oh,
The
that
older ladies were like, "Can we keep him? Can we keep that one?"
Oh, that's divine. That's so good.
I think if we like I say I do it here, but I have like a whole community right there waiting to help whenever I go,
Yeah.
"Guys, can you help?" Or like if I don't have men's dress shoes, I pop up a post and I say, "Guys, I don't have enough men's dress shoes." And then all of a sudden, all these people have just put like between $5 and $20 in my bag or $100. And then next thing I know, I'm buying 30 new pairs of shoes.
Right.
So
So
I think we've just built a really good village. We've just built a really good village to support our young people.
which is amazing. And like you said, it's something that people have that sort of that heart attached to, don't they? It's your
Yeah,
rite of passage, as quite rightly as you said. It's that defining moment in that sort of
yeah,
transition from childhood into adulthood. It's sort of your
yeah.
time to be, yeah. So I think that people have an attachment to their school form, or whether they actually attended
Yeah,
or not. When did you set this
yeah,
up? What year was it?
2019,
So it's still, oh gosh, okay. So that was that during COVID or just
pre-COVID,
before? Pre? Yeah,
pre-COVID,
okay.
pre-COVID, and then COVID started in the 2020,
Yeah.
and so I'd actually had it's it's quite a process. I'd actually left I started, and, like, as I started the program, I lost 3 really important people in my life. So, I
Oh,
lost one of my really close friends. She passed away from leukemia, and I'd helped her a lot. And
mm,
then about a month later, I lost my grandma, who was, like, one of my biggest inspirations in life.
mm,
And then a week after that, I lost my adopted mum. So that little
wow.
3-month period as I started was really hard. And I remember there would be times when I'd be asked to help a student. I remember I would be on the floor crying because, it's hard enough to deal with grief, but when you have that much smashed on you at once,
Yeah,
it's like, how do I even exist anymore? How do I even get up?
yeah,
And so I remember I would be on the floor crying, and then someone would call me and say, "Can you help?" And nothing in me wanted to keep going, nothing wanted to help. But at the same time, I was like, what would those 3 women be saying right now? And they would be saying, "Stop crying, get up, help the young person, like, remember who you are?"
yeah,
So I would get up and I would go and help, and then I'd go back to on the floor and cry. And that was kind of
yeah,
that first 3 months. That's how it was. I just kept getting back up and getting back up. And I think each time you get up, it makes it a little bit easier.
yep,
And each time I dressed a student, something magic happened for me too. My heart healed a little bit.
yeah.
I'll try not to cry. Heart
Oh,
healed. So, I often say to people like the program not only helps other people, but it helped me too because I will cry.
oh, that's okay. It
that's it.
shows how passionate
Without
you
it, I
are.
don't without it, I don't think that I like, going through all that grief got me to another spot, and so after that grief, like, I stopped the program in the November, and we actually went to the UK for 4 weeks, and then I packed it all into storage, and when I came home, I'd been in a, 20.5 year relationship, and that broke down. Um,
Mm.
the grief, but also it was a lot of domestic violence, so that relationship broke down, and, I decided I think because of the losses, those 3 women were so strong women, I sort of thought, "What am I still doing here? 20 and a
Yeah.
half years? Why am I here?" And, like, my
Mm.
whole life had pretty much from a child had been domestic violence of some kind, and
Mm.
I used to tell myself that I was staying until my youngest one was an adult to give
Yeah.
them a better life than I had growing up,
Yeah.
and then when they passed away, I kinda went, "What am I doing?" Like,
Mm.
why am I living this life? Am I really making a better life for my kids? All I'm really doing is financially they're more secure. But
Yeah.
what about the negative impact of living with domestic violence, you know? So I made a decision, and I actually made the decision before I holidayed to the UK. So I had a plan, and I knew that when I came back, I knew I was going to take those steps to leave. And I
Yeah.
remember a social worker at Centrelink had said to me, "You've tried for 20.5 years. It's time to think about yourself and your children," you know? And he knew I'd gone through the grief and that too. So
Yeah.
I left in the January and everything was packed up. And my idea was I've saved all the formal wear. That was my biggest concern of what to take. I've saved the formal wear that the community have given me. And so if it's meant to be, the universe will find a way and it will happen that I continue the program. And
Yeah.
then COVID hit, which was a blessing for me in some ways because my life was like
Yeah.
chaotic, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So COVID hit and we sat in a little tiny 2-bedroom unit for 6 months and life wasn't really moving forward or backward, to be honest. I was just
Mm.
existing. Um, and then at the end of that 6 months, my older girl said to me, "Mum, you need to move forward in life. You need to get a house." So she helped me get a rental. And remember, I'd never been in a rental myself. I'd always been with someone and they owned a house. So I didn't have any rental history, no history of anything, no
Yeah.
bills in my name, nothing.
Hard.
So she helped me. She helped me then. And then so I moved into this house and I still had the stuff in storage and still thought if it's meant to be, I will do it again.
Yeah.
And then in the August of 2020, a police officer called me and she said, "We've got 8 girls that we need to dress. Are you still doing the formal program, Tammy?" And I went, I am, but it's all in storage. Give me 2 days and I'll get it all down and I'll bring it down to you."
Yeah.
So she brought the girls 2 days later and we just had mess everywhere, but they found what they needed. And so from that August 2020, we just fired up again. The
Awesome.
second I saw those girls, I was like, this is where my life needs to go. And
Yeah.
this needs to give me that purpose, you know? And I remember my doctor saying to me, "Do what makes you happy." And I thought,
Mm.
okay, this makes me happy. This makes me really happy. So I just kept doing it. And in that COVID gap, my father had passed away as well. So that was another hit that was like, are you really,
Oh my goodness.
where are you going, Chloe? What are you doing?
Yeah.
But I got back into the formal program and we just kept plugging along and students kept coming and it just grew bigger and bigger. And I found the whole way through that they teach me so much. They
Yeah.
teach me so much every day. You know, when I have a student in and when I have a mum in that's going through domestic violence or grief, like they've lost a parent, I
Mm.
feel like my lived experiences can help that parent and help that family too.
Yeah.
We do a lot of like helping with terminal illnesses. So we'll help with weddings and formals and stuff like that. So for me, when they come, I've got a lot of heart and a lot of passion to make sure they're exactly the way they want to be. If someone comes in and they're losing their dad, I'm like, we're getting your dad suited up. We're getting him
Yeah.
everything he wants. So, and I guess that's because I felt that pain of losing someone you love. So just makes me, I don't know, get it that little
Y-
bit more.
Yeah. That's so lovely. So you're way beyond formal, addressing formal students as well, which is
Yep.
is it's just beautiful. And you can tell just by the way the way you're talking, you're passionate, you've got heart,
Yep.
and no wonder you've created this little empire. I think it's incredible. You've actually received some wonderful recognition and accolades for the incredible work that
Yeah.
you've done over the last few years. I know people like you don't do this for recognition. I know that's always the case. But what does this recognition mean to you personally, especially because this started out of a desire to help others?
Yeah. So I always say to people, like, sometimes people come in and I've put the awards and the articles and stuff on the wall so that people can read them. Because I used to just put them in a folder
Yeah.
upstairs, you know?
Yeah.
And my friend said to me, Mum, you should hang them up. I was like,
Mm.
no, that's so show-offy. I'm not doing that. He goes, no, Mum, that's not show-offy. That's showing the people that nominated you how grateful you are and how much you appreciate that they took the time to nominate you. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I get that. So I put them up and like, I'm a very, I don't know. I was talking to a friend last night and they said, I'm an introverted extrovert, if that makes sense.
Okay.
He was saying he knows me well, and he said, "I know that you hate when you get any kind of attention, especially media stuff." He once
Yep.
did a couple of articles on me, and he knew how much I hated it, and he took some photos of me, and I said to him, "I just wanna blend in your magazine. I don't wanna be front and center. You're just gonna do a little article, right?" He said, "Oh, yeah, 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 a little article." Anyway, he sends me a cover of a magazine, and he blurred it, but I knew it was me on that cover. And I said to him, "What happened to blending?" And he was like, "You're not coffee." He goes, "You deserve to stand out." And so he's been one of my biggest supporters the whole way through. And he was
Lovely.
saying to me last night, "You still get really embarrassed." He goes, "You squirm in your seat at the thought of having to get an award or having to go on stage." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "I do." I'm really grateful that people nominate me. I'm grateful that people see what we do and they see the impact. Like,
Mm.
that makes me really happy. And I just think that any award or any media that we do just means that we'll support more students because it means more people hear about us.
Correct.
And, like someone might be listening to this podcast and they're like, oh, my nephew, I know that he won't be going to formal because he can't afford it. So
Mm.
even though it's really hard for me to put myself out there sometimes, I do it because I know what it means to do it. I remember I often talk about my son because he just is constantly on my shoulder. um, he would say to me, if you don't do that media thing, Mum, you might miss that student. Oh,
Yeah, he's
you're right.
sensible. You need
Okay.
someone like that.
That's right. Or like when I've been really like riddled with anxiety, because obviously grief and all of that trauma does not come with like nothing, comes
Yeah,
with severe anxiety. So when
absolutely.
I've been really low, with my anxiety, I would say to him something like, "Oh, I just got this email and they want me to go to this award ceremony, but there's no way I'm going." And he will go, give that to me. I'll respond right now and tell them you're coming. And I was like, "No, no, no, I don't wanna go." So he's always been that little pusher, like, he just tells me, "You can do it." So I think I'm really lucky that I've got, like, my children that really support me in it, and, they've been through that whole journey before with me,
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
know how important the formal program is. It
Mm.
gives me great purpose. My day job is an aged care support worker, so I always say that's my passion and this is my purpose, or it's kind of a mix of both,
I'd
really,
say it's
to
a
be honest,
mixture. Yeah.
because I love both equally. Like, I often think that I'm one of the luckiest people in the world because I get to go to work and work with older people, and then
Mm.
I get to come home and do the formal program. So how can you not be happy? Like, how can you just blessing other people? You can't not be happy with that.
Gosh,
So
if you're having a bad day, channel your inner Tammy because gosh, you're amazing. Everyone needs to hear you when they're having a rough day. Um, so you've over the years you've impacted so many lives. Do you know how many over the years?
At the end of last year, it was just over 10,000 students and individuals that had come here.
Crikey.
That had come here.
That
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
incredible. That's
yeah,
well
yeah,
done. That is huge
yeah.
in
Thank
itself.
you,
That's huge. So is there
thank you.
one, and this will be a really hard one. Is there a story
Yeah,
or a moment that has really stayed with you over those 10,000 students? I'm assuming there's a few, but is there any in particular that
yeah. There's many, and I just want to say, I remember this young boy was here, and he was just so happy to have his suit on. Like, you see young people stand with pride. There's a different student that comes into my garage that leaves, do you know?
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah.
transformation happens and you see the pride. And I remember like he was just so grateful. And he said to me, Miss, in 10 years' time, you're not going to remember my name or who I am, but I'm always going to remember you. And I was like, oh, my heart,
Oh,
like
beautiful.
that's so beautiful. And
Yeah.
I remember when I told my husband, he's a crier. So he cried. He was like, oh, no, no.
Oh, that's really pure, isn't it? And that must keep you
It's
going.
really pure.
Stories like that must
That
keep
keeps
you
me going.
going.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And, some of the stories that I have, like, I remember dressing this, dad for his daughter's, wedding, and dad was palliative.
Okay.
And I don't know that dad knew that I knew, but the daughter had reached out and asked if I could help them with a suit for dad and if I could possibly help with borrowing some dresses for the bridesmaids because it was a time issue, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I said, "Yeah, of course I can help." And dad came in and I just put this really nice light blue suit out and I just sort of displayed it. And dad walked in and he said to me, I really like that. I said, do you? He goes, yeah. I said, I reckon that would fit you. He goes, do you? And like I knew the background that, I knew what was going on, but I just
Yeah.
made out I didn't have any idea. And I was like, I reckon that would fit you. And it hadn't been long that I'd lost my dad, you see, from
Yeah.
motor neuron disease. So I just was treating him like I would want someone to treat my dad.
Yeah.
And
With
so,
dignity.
and so yeah, with dignity. And so I said to him, I said, "I reckon you could try it on." And he went, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, of course. So let's try this. Let's just get right to it. Let's try this suit on." So anyway, I helped him into it and that. And his family were out in the garage part. We were in the suit room. And so when he was all dressed, you could just see the pride. And he touched me on the arm and he had it on and he goes, "You know I'm dying, don't you?" And I said, "Oh no, but this is
Oh.
let's just get you looking beautiful for your daughter's wedding. Let's
Mm.
just do that." And he went, "Okay." So I got his tie and all that out, and I said to his family, "You ready?" Because they're all out in the garage. They said, "Yeah, we're ready." And so out we came. I introduced him. Here he is. Here's the man of the moment. Introduced him. And his family were all just smiles and tears. And, there was so much love in there. And I remember I had to just leave the area for a minute. So I
Yeah.
just sort of went out the back and I was like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, like do this later. This is their time. Just,
Yeah.
get yourself sorted. So I went back in and they were all so thankful and that they sent me photos afterwards and I've still got those photos. And every time I look at those photos, I think about, that man just wanted to feel proud at his daughter's wedding and walk her down the aisle feeling
Oh.
great. And they told me he wore the suit as much as he could. And then he asked if when he passed away, if he could be in that suit. And so for me,
Oh, gosh. That's
yeah. So
beautiful.
that is why I help people like terminally ill because, you like the pride that we give the formal kids, it's the
Mm.
same as we're giving the adults that we're helping. Like that's the same pride. Um, when you get to kids that I've helped, I think every single one is really special. Like, I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
And it's true, like, every single person that walks in here has a story and it's really special.
Yeah.
Some of the ones that have really impacted us a lot, I probably can't talk about because it's
Sure.
pretty personal with the
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But, one of my greatest adventures I've done since I was doing the formal program is I was lucky enough to go to Arakoon twice and be a part of their ball. So Arakoon's a remote community, Cape sort of, do you know where Weipa is at Queensland? Do you know where
Uh,
Weipa is? Sort of up the top of
Up the top, it's
Queensland?
right up, isn't it? Yeah.
Up and to the side, yeah. Arakoon's 2 hours down, so it's a remote Indigenous community. And I
Okay.
had a lady ring me one day, her name's Norma, and she said, "Oh, hi, my name's Norma. I'm a youth support worker at the PCYC Arakoon. My young people would like a ball. I was wondering, could you help?" And I went, "Oh, gosh, I don't know." And I said, "I know there's a lady closer by that might be able to help." So I gave them her details. And that person said, "No, no, no, we can't help." And so she rang me back 5 minutes later and she said, "Would you be able to help us?" I went,
Oh,
"Yeah, why not?" I
yeah.
said, "Let me know how many young people are you thinking of?" And because I haven't seen them, I'm not even there. I said,
Yeah.
"How many young people are you thinking of?" And she said, "Is 20 boys and 20 girls too much?" And on the phone, I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." And inside, I'm like, "Oh my
Oh
God,
my
how am I going to
god.
do
Oh,
I'm a peer support worker. Give me an older person to shower or something, and I'm great at that.
yeah.
This is all still quite new to me, not now, but at the time. this is quite new to me. Like, how am I going to dress these people remotely and 40 people?
Yeah.
Like, okay, no, I'll do it. I'll do it. And so I said to her, just give me a few little, like I said to her, let me know if they're short, tall, let me know a couple of colors they like, if they like sparkles or if they just like simple.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we did all of that. I got 40 exact outfits, and then I sent an extra 20 of suits and shirts and dresses, like a mix, an
Mm.
extra 20 in case my picks didn't work. So when they got up there, the kids tried them on. She would send me photos of the young people trying them on, and they've never had anything like this in our raccoon.
Oh,
So
nice.
that she took me photos, and every time she'd send me a photo, I'd be like, oh, and I'd cry, but I'd be happy. And
Yeah.
then, so they had the first ball, and she sent me photos the whole way, so I was very involved in it. And then the second ball comes, and she said, "We'd like you to come." And I was like,
Oh, magic. The fairy godmother gets to go too.
she said, "The kids are telling us we don't want it. We want the fairy godmother to come. We wanna have the ball with her." So that
Yeah.
time it was more kids. So we got more stuff sent up. And then I was up there, I think 2 days before the ball started and that. And so I got to finish off some dresses, and then on the day of the ball, I got to do all the last minute. I actually had a staple gun for some of the
Oh.
dresses.
Oh,
Like, okay, stapler, staple, staple. There you go. Turn it back in the right way. Dress done. You
fabulous.
just got to do what you have to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Tying little bits of wool onto dresses to keep them on arms and tying them at the back. But it was so magical. Like, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had to see that much joy.
Yeah,
The PCYC was just full of just happiness.
that's magic.
Young people that would never have those opportunities to
Mm.
see that down here in Logan. We've taken what we've made in Logan and we've taken it to there.
Yeah,
And then Norma ended up making a miniature sort of formal area there so
yep.
that the community could access it for weddings, funerals, formals, any celebration in the community. They could
Yeah,
come and hire it and
great.
then give it back. And then we did a third ball, and I wasn't going to go to that because I didn't think I could afford it, and I was going to pay for this one myself because I wanted to go. And I was like, oh, I'm not really sure. And then the young people said, "There's not going to be a ball if we don't have Tammy." So I went, "Okay, I'm coming."
Oh, that's so
So
nice.
I went to the third one. Yeah, it was so beautiful. Like, I've never walking down that main street, like, it's just the red dirt,
Yeah.
and barefoot walking down there, and we're all in these beautiful gowns, and you look back and you just see the happiness. There's nothing that could make that same happiness, I don't think.
Oh, that's lovely.
Beautiful.
What have you learnt about yourself over the last few years being involved in Formerly Ever After?
I've learned to be more grateful because
Mm.
I remember at that time when I lost those people, I wasn't feeling very grateful about much. And I remember going to see my counselor guy, who's one of my greatest friends now. I remember going to see him, and I remember him sitting there with his little notepad, going, "I want you to practice gratitude." And I remember thinking, gratitude. Like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
This is just this is just 2018 as my friend got ill and we knew she was going to pass away to 2019. So it's not that long ago.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just angry. I was just angry. Um, and because my friend had 6 kids and they were between 3 and 13, and she had a
Oh,
year. She'd
wow.
been given a year to live. So I was just angry about that. And I remember when he said, "You need to practice gratitude, Tammy," I thought, "You've got no idea what you're talking about." And I came home and I was still angry at him. And then the next day I woke up, I sort of thought, maybe I'll try it." And
Yep.
so then I sort of looked around and thought, what am I grateful for? And I thought, well, I'm grateful for this and I'm great. Oh, okay. And then the next day I woke up and I did the same thing. And the next day and the next day. And then I was doing this program. And then
Yep.
I was like, I'm grateful that we have this program. And what I found is it actually changed my life to just reconnect with gratitude.
Yep.
It changed my life. And it also, this program has made me um, really understand different hardships. Like I was saying before, I come from a place where we were poorer, single mom, domestic violence, living in housing commission. So quite a rough kind of upbringing.
Yep.
But this has sort of brought me back to that. And
Mm.
you just don't judge anyone. You just don't judge anyone.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're going through. Like me, I used to hide it a lot. People didn't
Yep.
know what I was going through. You don't know what anyone's going through. So if people message me and say, "Can you help?" you just help. You don't have
Yeah.
to ask why. If
Yep.
they already took that thing to like, that's a big step to ask for help. I'll have people message me say, "Oh, I don't really know how to ask. I don't know what I'm supposed to tell you, but would you be able to help?" And I'm like, "Well, you've already asked, so let's just
Yeah.
book you in and, come over." I feel like the right people come to me. And
Yeah.
if the wrong person did come to me, that's not on us or the program. That's something they have to work out. We
Yeah.
just help them anyway. I feel like 99.9% of the time, the right people are coming to us that need the help.
Mm.
The other thing I've learned is that you can really spread the message that kindness is free to people. You can really
Mm.
spread that message because people always have asked me why I spend so much time on this program. And I probably spend and this is probably an underestimate, I
Mhm.
probably spend between 40 and 50 hours a week on the program, like
Wow.
doing
Yeah.
between all the things I do. And then I work. And so people say, "Why do you spend so much time on it?" And I say, because their young people are important. Like they're important and they deserve someone to give them a space like this to let them know how equally important they are.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like our parents, for whatever reason, can't afford it. That shouldn't have to impact the young people. That
Yeah.
shouldn't have to impact. So we just can lift each other up. And the other thing I found is that with the village you create, people are stronger together. So when
Mm.
you have all these people helping you, you're stronger. And I used to be a big one for not asking for help. I wouldn't ask for help, like for me, that was kind of like I was failing in some ways to have to
Yeah.
ask
Yep.
people.
Yep.
But all these people that come here and ask me for help, like I would be a hypocrite if I can't ask people back for help, do you know? So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think I learned that too. I learned that it's okay to ask for help because if I'm telling people it's okay, then I need to be
You've got to
okay
do
with it
it
too,
too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough thing to do, especially when you just kind of go through life surviving. It's a
Yeah.
tough thing to then go, "Oh, could you please help?" But
Yeah.
it's also like it makes you feel not so alone. Like we had a flood come through here and every dress was wet. Every dress was wet
Oh
at the prom.
no.
So everything needed rewashing. And I remember Ethel and I sat here and we just went, "How are we going to manage it?" And then I said to him, "Wait a second, we've got a whole village.
Mm.
Like, I'll just jump online, I'll ask people to come help." And so I did that, and I raced down to Bunnings to get some little dehumidifier stuff. And before I got back, already like 5 or 6 women had come and picked up carloads of dresses to take home and
Yeah.
wash. So,
Excellent.
and that makes your heart happy because
Yeah.
people care about this program. Like, it's not my program, it's our program. Do you know?
Mm.
People really care about what we're doing here. The other thing when I don't know if you know, we had a really big fire at Storage King in 2024 in the June. So Ethel and I got married June the 14th. And then I think it was around the 27th of June or 26th of June, somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact date now. But the Storage King just down the road where we lived burnt down. And so Ethel was going to work and he rang me and he said, "Oh, babe, the Storage King's on fire." And I
And
was like,
that's
"Oh,
where your
no."
dresses were.
That's where our dresses were because
Yeah.
we'd gotten married. So we were at a different house. We had the same sort of layout. Um, we were planning our wedding and then we were also had to move. So we had to move like the 30th of June or something. So we had to move to here. So whenever we were getting new donations in, we were just gathering them up and putting them in storage because,
Yeah.
we had all these other things going on.
Yeah.
We're just gathering them up. So our storage was like packed as you can get it.
Mm.
And because we were moving, we've been putting stuff there too. So we lost a lot of stuff. And I remember he rang me and he said, "Our dresses, our suits." And at the time, I was probably, I don't know what it was. I just said to him, "Ethel, who cares about our dresses and suits? What about all the people that are homeless that have everything they own there?" I was kind of
Yeah.
thinking about the people that we'd met at storage. And then he goes, "Oh, yeah, you're right." And then afterwards, I apologized and said to him, "No, no, no, you were too." But I was
Yeah.
just kind of thinking about the loss to everybody.
Mm.
And then when I got off the phone to him from my bedroom window, I could see the Storage King on fire, right? Because it was
Oh.
just down the road. And so I remember I sat on my bed and I just sobbed, like I just cried so much. My daughter and my son just came to either side with a little puppy dog and they're trying to hug me and that. And I was
Mm.
just sobbing. And then I just thought, not only can we not help our kids here now, but how are we going to help our remote communities that we've just built up this great relationship with,
Yeah.
this is the end. And that's how I sort of thought. I thought we can't rebuild from this. And then my older girl came straight over when she heard the news. And I got this phone call, and on my phone it said ABC Radio, and I've had quite a bit to do with the ABC Radio. They're absolutely beautiful to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I saw ABC Radio, so I thought, because it was all over Facebook, and I'm just getting like pummeled with all these messages like, "Have you burnt down? Have you burnt down?" And then the ABC Radio, she started chatting to me, and like I knew it was on air, but I kind of like I was
Oh,
so
so you were
emotional, and
live?
I just said, I was live, yeah,
Oh,
and I was
wow.
sobbing my heart out because, it just burnt, and, I'll cry again. And I was sobbing my heart out, and I remember, them saying, "Don't worry, we'll help you. Like, we will put this everywhere, and we will help you rebuild." And, that story did help us rebuild. That
Mm.
interview did help us rebuild. I mean, there was parts of that I couldn't even talk. I was sobbing that much.
Yeah, of
She was just
course.
talking, and because they'd followed my journey, they really knew a lot about what I did.
Yeah.
And, so they became a drop-off place in the city. Their radio station became a drop-off page, and they had a big QR code at the front, and all racks for people to bring their formal wear in, and they had all the mail come to them because I had no address at the time and I had no storage unit. So they just kept it all there until I organized everything. And, they helped us so much. And then when I got off the phone to them, I had a phone call from a guy from Channel 9 News, and he said, "Oh, we just heard about the fire." And, my head was blowing up, like,
Mm.
I just want to cry. And I sort of went back to that grief time where it was just a big loss, even though it was
Yeah.
formal wear, it's a huge loss. And I kind of felt like people trusted me with their stuff, and here it all went in flames. And I know that nobody thought that, but that was just how I felt at the time. And I remember this guy, he said to me, "Can you come down to the Storage King and come and do an interview?" And I just went, "No, no," and hung up. And then my older daughter came, and I walked down the hallway, and then I said to her, "If I don't go down there now and do that interview, we don't rebuild." Like that, it's
Yeah.
as simple
Yeah.
as that.
Simple as
We
that.
need the media to help us rebuild.
Yeah.
And so she rang the guy back and she said, "We'll be down there in 5 minutes." So we walked down so I could cry on the way. So we walked down there, and we got there, and they were all set up, like all of the TV stations were set up right next to the Storage King, and it was still burning. It was still burning. They couldn't put the fire out in there. So it was still burning there. So we were across the road. And as we got closer, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was kind of hoping that I'd see like tulle and sparkles hanging out, like
Yeah.
something to
Yeah.
save. But there was nothing. There was nothing. And
Mm.
my for me, I was crying and I was sad because it was not just our loss, it was the community's loss, but it was also all the people that lost everything they owned.
Yeah.
So the sadness for me was just huge. And then when we got down there, I remember saying to my daughter, "I just need to sit for a second before we go over there. I just need to sit." And I sat and I was crying, and this lady had come up to me and she'd lost everything, that they had in there.
Mm.
And so that made me sadder knowing that she's lost everything too. And then I went and did the interview, and all of the different TV stations were there. And I don't even know how I got through it. I think I just cried the whole way through it because I could hardly talk. And then when they were finished, we kind of went over to the side, and we were looking there, and my daughter was hugging me, my older girl, and, they took that photo of my girl hugging me as I was looking at the thing, and that went everywhere, and
Oh.
we had mail coming like you wouldn't believe. My whole garage floor was above my knee high in donations, like,
Oh,
it
oh,
was
fantastic.
extraordinary. It was extraordinary. So, I always like one of my older clients that I look after said to me at the time, "From tragedy comes blessing." And I
Mm.
think that's exactly what happened. Like, more people supported us then. We grew like you wouldn't believe. It was overwhelming, like it was overwhelming, but we just took time to get through the donations. I think we had 3 weeks that we were closed for. And
Yeah.
then at the 3-week mark, I said to Ethel, "We need to open because people need us. Like I've moved appointments. We need to
Mm.
be ready and we need to open." But by then we had enough stock. Like we had so much stock, it wasn't funny. We could open up again. And then when we moved here to Beenleigh, I had to get a new storage unit. So I went down to the Storage King at Beenleigh here to get a unit. And I remember the day she got me the unit, she opened the door, and I just wanted to cry because there was nothing in it. And I was like,
Oh.
"Are you ready?" a unit at the other one was jam-packed to the so much good
Yeah.
stuff in there, until
Yeah.
I cried. But within 3 weeks, I was asking for a storage unit bigger than that because we had so
Oh, because
much
it
stuff
was
to.
full. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. We couldn't
Oh,
fit anything else
gosh.
in. I'm like, "We need to go bigger. We need to go bigger, bigger," so we doubled in size. So
Yeah.
it even though there were hard things to get through, we got through them with our community helping us. And I mean, everybody helped us. The mayor of Logan had like big bins at the front of the council office where people were putting their formal stuff in. The mayoress of Logan, she did a big fashion show and people bought stuff and they raised
Mm.
$10,000 for us. And you know, everybody in Logan that knew of us and supported us were doing something to help us build back up because they know the importance for our young people. Like they
Yeah.
know what that is. So we're
Wow.
very, very lucky that we have that.
And what a magical thing, what an amazing community you've built from what
Yeah.
is really a very simple concept. Well done,
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
we're wrapping up now. What is the best way? And I can't believe after this amazing chat that no one will want to find out more. Everyone will be wanting to jump on. What's the best way for people to find out more about what you do and how they can help too? What's ways people can help if they're listening to this?
Yep, yep. So, probably the easiest way because I do work and I'm a support worker is to jump onto the Facebook page. It's formerly Ever After Queensland Inc. And when you go on the Facebook page, you can message me. My phone number is also on there. You can send me a text message.
Yep.
My email's on there, so you can email me. And we also have a website as well. One of my good friends built a website just recently for me, so that was
Lovely.
fantastic. So we
Nice.
have all of those ways. The best way though is to send a message because then I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Yeah.
And on the Facebook page and the website are things listed that we need. So we're always after plus size clothing and we're
Mhm.
always after the really small sizing. They're the sort of either end is what we
Yeah.
always need. And helping us is just spreading the word. The way people can support us is just talking about what we do. And
Mm.
you might, as I said before, you might know someone that needs help, or you might have something sitting in your cupboard and you're like, oh, that doesn't fit, or oh, I don't really need that anymore. I'll
Yeah.
donate that to help someone else. So we're not only helping people, but we're saving from landfill and we're
Mm.
recycling. So, you can't do better than that.
It's a win, win, win. Tammy Robinson, thank you so, so much for sharing your story with me today. It's such
You're
a
very welcome.
powerful reminder that kindness doesn't always have to be loud to change lives. You've done more than the average person will ever do. And sometimes it looks like quietly collecting dresses in a spare room, answering messages late at night from stressed parents, or making sure a
Yeah.
young person who's doing it tough still gets to feel special, included, and worthy of celebration. Formerly Ever After is about so much more than outfits for a school formal. It's dignity, belonging, and confidence. And it's about giving young people the chance to walk into a room feeling seen instead of invisible. And that kind of glitter can stay with someone for a lifetime. So well done, you. Tammy, thank you for continuing to show up for your community and everybody around it with such compassion, humility, and love. The ripple effect of what you do is way greater than you probably realize. And to everyone listening, I hope this episode reminds you that some of the most meaningful acts of glitter spreading are the ones done quietly, behind the scenes, and without expectations of recognition. Tammy, I wish you all the very best with what's to come with
Thank
Formerly Ever
you.
After. And I look forward to continuing to follow your journey. And I will be sending more things your way as well. Keep sparkling and all the best. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining me, Kate Ganneil, on The Glitter Effect. If you've loved this episode, be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep showing up, making an impact, and sprinkling that glitter wherever you go. Bye for now.